The righteous trust and the evildoers fear. Al-Mughira said, I shall try my best, O Amir al-Mu'mineen. Okay? Now, another thing Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu did about the wula or the governors was he tested them out first. For example, when it comes to Ahnaf bin Qais radiallahu anhu, he brought him in Medina and he stayed with him for a year. And that year he was testing him out. He was making sure that he is good for the task that he is going to assign. And after a year, Umar asked him, do you know why I kept you here? And he explained to him that he had wanted to test him, then he appointed him as a governor. And then when he was giving him the advice, he said to Ahnaf, O Ahnaf, one who laughs too much loses his dignity. Okay? One who laughs too much loses his dignity. And the one who jokes too much loses respect. Whoever does something, a great deal becomes known for it. And one who speaks a great deal makes mistake, meaning the more you speak, there are more chances So when Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu was talking about the zuhud, when he was looking for zuhud among the people, he was not looking for a weakness, a weak Muslim. Zuhud means you are talking about the connection with Allah Azza wa Jal, that you are remembering Allah Azza wa Jal all the time. And remembrance of Allah is not the one that makes us weak, it should be making us stronger. Because now it takes away all sorts of fears away from you. Because now you are connected with Allah Azza wa Jal. And then the very same thing should make us stronger in the physical being as well. And we see that the Sahaba Ridwanullah alayhim, they used to compete. Even there are hadith that talk about Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He was himself was racing with Aisha radiallahu anha, his wife. And there are recommendations in the hadith that talks about swimming, talking about the archery, talking about wrestling and these kind of things. You find them. Then how? It's very difficult for me to understand this. Only thing that I can think of it is something to do that has crept into us now more and more because of secular ideas that we have accepted. Because we think of Islam as in a secular way many a times. The Islam is about my spirituality, my connection to the masjid, salah, zakah, hajj, and these things. But when it comes to my life affairs, it has nothing to do with Islam. So everything else we are learning from outside of Islam. So a person who is connected to the deen, then he should not be strong. He should be a weak person. This is how, unfortunately, we have to start thinking of which is wrong, which is not the way we find. And in Umar's life, we find that how he was. Similarly, humility. Humility was shown in the actions of the Sahaba radhiyallahu alayhim. In the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam even. What I mean by that, so he made sure the governors, they were not like this, that they are sticking out different people among the people. You cannot, so they have to dress differently, they have to have some different cars they're driving, or you don't find them. You cannot even distinguish among them who's the governor. Even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you recall the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he was migrating from Mecca to Medina, and he had Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, and when he was waiting, resting under the tree by the entrance of the Medina, Sahaba who came out to meet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who never met Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the past, they did not know which one was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They could not distinguish between Abu Bakr and Rasulullah, which one was Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As a matter of fact, some of them thought Abu Bakr was the Prophet because Abu Bakr, even though he was 2 years younger than Rasulullah, but he used to look older than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay? The point is not that who was looking younger or older. The point is they could not distinguish, which is a sign of, this is a sign of humility in that sense. That you do not try to come out as if you are different than others. And Umar's example is famous about when he was entering into Al-Quds. So he was taking a turn with his with his servant. So one time he was sitting and Umar was walking, or Umar was sitting and the servant was walking. And when they get to the entrance of the Al-Quds, it was the turn of Umar to walk and him to be on the mount. Even though the servant asked Umar, why don't you get on and I will get off? He said no. And he had patches on his clothes. See, this is not to show off. This is what it means by the true humility is. There's an example of Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah radiallahu anhu, who was a governor, and Byzantine sent a man to negotiate with him. When he came close to Muslims, he could not tell which one was Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah. I mean, imagine that. Isn't that has become a norm for us? And like for example, a sheikh or somebody is coming to give a talk, he has to have certain kind of a dress code. These are the shuyukh. The real shuyukh were the Sahaba Ridwanullah alayhim, Tabi'een. These were the real shuyukh for us. We know that. Look at their lives. They look like all of them were similar. You cannot distinguish among them. So he could not tell which one is it. So he said, he looked at and he saw Ubaidah sitting on the ground with a bow on his shoulder, examining an arrow that he held in his hand. So the envoy asked him, are you the leader of these men? He's surprised. He said, yes. He asked, then why are you sitting on the ground? Why are you using some cushion or something to sit on it? And Abu Ubaidah said, Allah is not too shy to speak the truth, and I will tell you the truth about what you have asked. He said, I do not have any wealth. Subhanallah. Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah, one of the earliest Sahaba who entered into the fold of Islam. His response was, he said, I own nothing but my horse, my weapon, and my sword. That's all I have. And he said, yesterday I needed some money and I had nothing. So I borrowed some money from this brother of mine who had some, meaning Mu'adh. He lent it to me. If I also had a rug or a cushion, I would not sit on it and exclude my brothers and companions. I'd rather have them sit on it. That's what he meant. See, that's what it means by humility. Yeah? Nowadays, we have taken this into another direction. That it could be in front of the people, it could be some humility is there, so it becomes more of a riyah than anything else. Similarly, about the piety, some of the Sahaba, including Zubair bin Awwam, the cousin of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, a great Sahabi radiallahu anhu of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, both of them, when they were given this position of governorship, they rejected. Because Zubair ibn Awwam, he was given Egypt, go become the governor of Egypt. He said he'd rather be the one who continued to fight in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They preferred looking for martyrdom this way than taking these positions. So what we see here is the type of qualities that Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu was looking for in governorship. These are not some fairy tales to study. These examples are for us to learn from it, that when we want Islam to rule over us, so we have an idea, what does it mean by have governors? And what those governors should be, what kind of qualities we should be looking into. Today, we look for a governor or politicians today, and I'm talking about governor, by the way, wali is different than a governor today we think of. It's just a equivalent name we're talking about. But wali, when we talk about that, the position we are looking into, we are looking for all those qualities, fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the piety, the humility, and sabr, and patience, and all those things. And today, unfortunately, we have got into the point when we think of a politician, what comes to the mind? I was having a discussion with a brother about a few months ago regarding the politics, that, okay, fine, people would like to go and vote for this person or that person or this person. I said, okay, do you believe really these people, what you are putting your trust in, they will fulfill the trust of yours? Do they really say the truth all the time? His response was, and everybody of us know, to a point today, linguistically, people think of politics means lying. Being a politician means how good you are in lying and making false promises, which is completely opposite of what the way Islam look at the things. So this is why when we learn these things, we understand that when we are talking about the siyasa means taking care of the affairs of people according to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not expect us to be traitors, does not expect to be cheaters, does not expect to be liars, does not expect to be the one who usurp the wealth of the ummah, or become a thief, or become a murderer. Rather, they are the caretakers, the one who are accountable by the people and in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so just keep this in mind, inshallah, and we'll continue about the governorships that Umar was assigning, and we'll talk about the rights of the governors, that what rights they had, inshallah, next week. And today's talk, inshallah, will stop here. If there's any questions or comments, I'll try to answer them now. Any question, inshallah, about today's talk?